Cindy, and I'm your host. Don't forget to hit the like, share, subscribe, and turn on your notifications for future updates and alerts. Thank you for joining us. We will be joined by my co host, Elijah Hayward. And it's going to be interesting. This press conference is with Director Cash Patel. There's so much that's going on in this country, it's unrecognizable to me. But hopefully, that we'll hear some good news from this administration, from this president. I can tell honestly, I don't like what's been happening with deploying of troops, saying that is training ground. Um, to me, attacking American citizens. I thought this administration was about America first. That means all Americans, and I'm really taken back that it seemed like there's such a divide that's going on. It's from the top on down. I don't like that the government have the shutdown going on and there are people losing their jobs, and it's troubling. You know, we're supposed to be bringing jobs into this country. It's about Trump. When he was running, he was like, oh, the illegal immigrants, they're taking jobs that would normally even go to black people, because they have all the construction jobs. When people think of construction, they have all building all the schools, new buildings, skyscrapers. They are building um, everything. And those are well paying jobs. Some of them are even union jobs. So the jobs are important. And just like the landscaping jobs, they're owning companies. They're not just cutting grass in the neighborhood, they're cutting stadium grass, school, grass, corporations. So it's a lot of money in landscaping. So we were thinking, okay, Trump is saying close the borders, bring these jobs back. So, these are jobs that everyday Americans can get. But that hasn't happened. What has happened is that we're getting rid of well-paying living wage jobs, union jobs. When when you remove 350,000 jobs from the workforce, where do those people go when these companies aren't here yet? Where are they supposed to go to pay their mortgages, take care of their homes, their houses? They had benefits, they had life insurance, they had, everything that you could think of to be able to provide a middle class environment for their children. That's gone. And I don't even see what jobs they had to replace the jobs that have been lost throughout this shutdown and prior to the shutdown when Doge came in and he's talking about, oh, we're going to have all this money that's been hidden in the government and government waste. There wasn't any all this government waste. Only thing that happened was that people lost their jobs. So more Americans became unemployed. And right now, on the last report was only 22,000 jobs were added to the job market. That's nothing. In the black community, black women, they lost more jobs than any other dynamic. They lost 300,000 people lost their jobs. And many black women, because of that 1994 crime bill and mass incarceration, what they're trying to do a repeat right now, they're the head of the household. They're the ones that are taking care of the children and holding them down and taking care of the family. These women have lost their only source of income. So I don't know if we're building up or building down. And with Doge and Elon Musk, he's now we're gonna have AI take over. Here we go, guys.
Beautiful Oval Office. The never looked so nice. We're getting great compliments, and you see outside how that's come out. It's been great. We make a lot of improvements to the White House, and we're doing that. One of the things you should be looking at is the Palm Court, because that's been totally redone. So we like to preserve and make better the White House, and that's really what's happened, and we're getting tremendous reviews, and we appreciate it. But we're here for a different reason. It's called Operation Summer Heat, which is an appropriate term in light of what we're doing. And early yesterday morning, I returned from the Middle East, where we celebrated a historic agreement to end years of suffering and conflict. Amazing. Every country came together. And even the enemies came out and totally endorsed it. Everybody, I've never seen anything like it. Nobody's seen anything like it. And just as we are forging peace and stability abroad, we're also restoring peace and safety and stability at home. And you see that in Washington D.C. maybe better than any place, because we got there and within 12 days it was very good. And within 30 days it's been as safe as any city in the country. It's been great. Took out 1,700 people, got them out. These are career criminals in many cases, and people that shouldn't have been allowed in by the Biden administration. Historically, the summer months have been a time when violent crime soar, as you know, but not under President Trump. Today, we're announcing the results of a sweeping law enforcement effort known as Operation Summer Heat. We were in many cities that people didn't know about. We kept it a little quiet, and it had a big impact, and you'll hear that in a second. But over the past few months, FBI offices in all 50 states made crushing violent crime a top enforcement priority. That's what they did, rounding up and arresting thousands of the most violent and dangerous criminals. And these are among the most dangerous and violent people in the world. They were allowed, in many cases, not in all cases, but in many cases, they were allowed in by a very foolish, actually stupid, open border policy. Just anybody could have come in. They emptied out their jails, their prisons, their mental institutions. They emptied them into our country. And the people behind me have done an incredible job, because if we didn't have that administration, it would have been so much easier. They allowed millions of people in this country that shouldn't have been allowed, including over 11,000 murderers, half of whom murdered more than one person. And many of them are gone now, or they're put in prison, because we don't want to have them come back. So we literally put them in our prison, which we don't want to do, but we bring them back to their countries. Working with state and local partners, the FBI arrested over 8,000 violent criminals during the course of this period. In major cities like in New Orleans, Nashville, we saw a 250% increase in arrests. And we really went after the bad ones. These include 725 individuals wanted for violent crimes against children and murderers. These arrests are in addition to the work of our historic federal task forces that make DC Safe Task Force has been unbelievable. I mean, the job they've done, it's incredible. And it's been so nice, because so many people, they're going out to dinner and they're having dinners. They didn't go out for 4 years. And now they're going out 3 times a week. Restaurants are opening, restaurants are full, and usually that means a lot of good things, but restaurants that were closed are now opening up, and everybody's happy. It's nobody's ever seen anything like it, actually, and everybody feels safe. You can have a child walk right through the middle of Washington, D.C., and nothing's going to happen. We were losing more than one person a week in war. They're being killed on an average of over 1 a week. The Make DC Safe Task Force has been incredible, and the Make Memphis Safe Task Force is having very similar results. It's much earlier, but we've been there for a week and a half, but I'm hearing the results are pretty incredible, and you'll hear about that. They're mobilizing more than 20 federal agencies for the largest law enforcement operation targeting violent criminals in American history. As a result of these efforts, violent crime declined nearly 20% nationwide compared to the same period last year, and it was the safest and most peaceful summer in 2 decades. And honestly, we haven't really even gotten going yet. If we didn't have to fight all of these radical left governors, we could have had Chicago taken care of, as an example. They had, in a short period of time, 4,000 murders in Chicago, and we have to listen to this man stand up and say that we're bad people. And the people of Chicago are walking around with MAGA hats. You have women, beautiful black women, walking around with MAGA hats. Please let the president in, and we don't care how he does it. They're not interested in National Guard or Army, Navy, bring them in. Marines, bring in the Marines. They just want the crime to stop. And more so because of the success that we had in D.C. I think if we didn't have that success, nobody would even believe it. So I want to congratulate all of the incredible law enforcement professionals joining us today, especially Attorney General Pam Bondi, who's terrific, Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, who is a fantastic legal talent. He really is. He's a great guy, too. And, of course, FBI Director Kash Patel. They have worked so hard on this and other things. Since the start of the administration, the FBI has arrested over 23,000 violent criminals, more than double the number arrested in the final year of the Biden disaster. The FBI has also destroyed or severely disrupted more than 170 organized criminal enterprises and gangs, 1,600 of the most violent gangs, and confiscated over 6,000 illegal firearms. And they've tracked down and arrested 4 fugitives on the most wanted list. 4 of the most wanted, actually 2 of them were the most wanted fugitives in the world. There's still much more work to be done, which is why the FBI continues to work alongside the Department of Justice, the Department of Homeland Security, and the Department of War to defend. And Pete Hegseth has been fantastic, by the way, on this too, on other things, but on this too, to defend law and order and combat violent crime, arrest illegal aliens, and make American cities the safest in the world. And when I campaigned, I talked about crime, but I never knew that we were going to get into it like we did. You know, I mean, I used to watch these cities with the murders. Chicago recently had one deal where they had 11 murders in one weekend, and they said, well, yeah, but it was a holiday weekend. They actually told me that was the reason. Like it was okay because it was a holiday. It was Labor Day. These people are the worst. They really have to, they better, I tell you what, the people in Chicago and the people in places like that can be fixed. At some point, it gets to where you can't fix it anymore. It's too far gone. And we have some cities like that. But these are great cities that can be fixed. I'm going to be strongly recommending, at the request of government officials, which is always nice, that you start looking at San Francisco. I think we can make San Francisco. There's one of our great cities 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Now it's a mess. And we have great support in San Francisco. So I'd like to recommend that for inclusion, maybe in your next group. You get great support. Every American deserves to live in a community where they're not afraid of being mugged, murdered, robbed, raped, assaulted, or shot. And that's exactly what our administration is working to deliver. I didn't realize I was going to make this such a big factor in the administration. I didn't really campaign. I campaigned on crime, but I never thought we'd go into every city and take a really safe city that we've all been living with for years.
Wow.
And make them safe. And now it's like a passion for me, and it's a passion for the people behind me. So I didn't get elected. I did get elected for crime, but I didn't get elected for what we're doing. This is many, many steps above it. I want to thank Stephen Miller, who's right back in the audience, right there. I'd love to have him. I love watching him on television. I'd love to have him come up and explain his true feelings, but maybe not his truest feelings. That might be going a little bit too far. But Stephen, thank you for doing an unbelievable job. And the people of this country love you, I tell you. And they love what you say about crime and stopping crime. So now I'd like to ask Director Patel to say a few words, and then Pam and Todd also. And I just want to congratulate them. This is an amazing thing. And we're just at the start. We're going to go into other cities that we're not talking about purposely. We're getting ready to go in. And when they go in, like Cash as an example told me that people didn't even know. 5 months ago, they went into Chicago. And they started doing a lot of work in Chicago. And we brought the numbers down a little bit. And but that really was just preparatory work for what we're going to do with the surge. We're going to have a surge of
this man is
strong,
attacking
good people,
Americans.
Patriots, and they're going to go in, they straighten it all out. So a lot of these cities we're already working on, but we don't do it with a big flavor. But in a little while, you're going to see some numbers that you're not going to believe. And I think you'll probably start with Memphis, because I'm hearing the numbers are much quicker than we even thought possible. But again, DC it speaks for itself. Chicago is going to be okay. We're going to save Chicago. And I told you, and I told them, a very respected man, the head of the Union Pacific, said, "Sir, save Chicago. It can be saved." And the way he said
put
it,
the resources there.
believe it was
Stop
going to
lying
save
to
Chicago.
the American people.
But I understood exactly
I
what he
can't
wants,
take
and
this.
that's what we're going to do. We're going to save all of our cities, and we're going to make them essentially crime-free,
Look at this.
like other countries have crime-free. If you go all over the world, you go to the world, you hear Afghanistan, and you hear all these different places. Our crime in certain cities is worse than anything they can even imagine. And we're not going to have that any longer. It's going to stop, and it stops right here. Cash, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. What I'd like to do is just highlight some of the outstanding work that the men and women of the FBI have been doing. And thanks to your brave leadership and the mandate you were given by the American people, not only to defend the homeland, but crush violent crime, you tasked us with our great partners at the Department of Justice and Attorney General and the Deputy Attorney General to start making arrests and bring prosecutions and safeguard our cities. And you said it, this is just the beginning. In just 7 months, I hope the media takes a look at every one of these charts, because these are the best numbers for fighting crime in U.S. history, and it's only 7 months in. And to do that, our vehicle to do it choice was Operation Summer Heat, which the FBI architected to go after violent criminals. And in just a 3-month span, you had 8,700 arrests of violent criminals. You had 2,200 firearms seized off the streets permanently to safeguard our communities. You had 421 kilograms of fentanyl seized. Just to put that in perspective, that's enough to kill 55 million Americans alone. You had 45,000 kilograms of cocaine seized. And thanks to our Department of Justice partners, you had 2,100 indictments in 3 months, from June to September alone. Mr. President, that in and of itself would be historic for a 4-year presidency. You did that in 7 months because you let good cops be cops, and you partnered us with the right people, the Department of Justice, to put the handcuffs on and bring them to court and put them in prison. And if that weren't enough, when you look at the year, for the entire 7-month period that we're talking about here, if you look at the past 4 years of the Biden administration, 16,000, 17,000, 15,000, 15,000. That's the number of arrests year over year of violent felons in this country for the Biden administration. Mr. President, in 7 months, you have 28,600 arrests of violent felons in just 7 months alone, because of your leadership and the dedication of the men and women at the FBI who want to go out there and do the job they were prevented from doing, because that department used to be weaponized and politicized. And this is what happens when you take out the fangs of weaponization. This number is historic by every metric. 28,000 people have been arrested, violent felons alone. And when you go over there and look at some of these charts, if you don't mind, over here. Look at the metrics. For not just violent crime, but the homeland. Mr. President, during your administration, the FBI has found and located 5,400 children. That is a 30% increase year-to-date over the last administration. Violent crimes against children arrests alone are up 10%. Gang arrests are up 210% in the last 7 months alone. And transnational organized crime, Stephen Miller, in the Green Corner, is up over 12% alone. These numbers are historic just as a snapshot. But just so people don't think we're focusing on violent crime alone, the national security mission, Mr. President, your leadership has never been stronger. We have gone after espionage activities against our main counterparts, China, Russia, and Iran. In China alone, we've had over a 50% increase in espionage arrests alone in prosecution. In Iran, we have had a 50% increase, again, in espionage cases. And in Russia, we've had a 33% increase in espionage cases alone. When it comes to counterterrorism, year-to-date, we have 125 arrests this year versus 100 last year, year-to-date alone. And when it comes to the cyber criminal activities, which are some of the largest enterprises plaguing everyday Americans, we at the FBI have put out a mission to go after cyber criminals like never before. Last year, they had in total 191. This year, you already have 252 arrests. 52 arrests of violent cyber criminals who are stealing from senior citizens, who are violating our children's rights and freedoms, and who are violating everyday Americans. These programs are record. And some of the two of the things I'll finish with that I'm most proud of, Mr. President, is FBI. Fentanyl. As you know, it's a scourge that's killing our youth, 100,000 plus a year. To date, the FBI has seized 1,900 kilograms of fentanyl. That's enough lethal doses to kill 127 million Americans alone. To date. And if that were enough, Mr. President, you said we have to go after the worst of the worst. And you empowered the Department of Justice, our Attorney General, Deputy Attorney General, the Deputy Director at the FBI, led the charge, not just on Summer Heat, but he also led the charge in the FBI's 10 most wanted fugitives. These people have been on the run for years. And in 7 months, you captured not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 of the FBI's most top 10 fugitives. 4. Just to put that in perspective, Mr. President, the Biden administration captured 4 in all 4 years. You're on 7, and we're going to get to 10. We're going to get to 10 to 10. This includes a lady who murdered her 6-year-old handicapped child in Pleasant, India. We got her in 2 months. This includes a narco trafficker. This includes a sex trafficker. This includes another first-degree murder and gangbang. These people were on the run because of the prior administration's reckless policies that destroyed our communities. You came in and with a mandate said, go after the worst of the worst. This is just the beginning. This is what happens when you have good cops and good cops at the FBI. Mr. President, I just want to thank you for your incredible leadership, our great partnership with prosecutors who know how to bring cases and make sure these arrests stick. That's what the Attorney General and the Deputy Attorney General have led the charge across this country. Because arrests without prosecution don't mean we are deterring criminals from doing this activity. We are preventing criminals from coming into America. And we are absolutely crushing violent crime, as I mentioned before, and defending this homeland, sir. And not to mention, I almost forgot this one. It took you, sir, 2 weeks to get the Abbey bomb. Joe Biden had 4 years to look for it. He got it in 2 weeks, thanks to the interagency effort of the FBI and the CIA, went to Pakistan and found 13 brave warriors who were sentenced to murder because of disasters like Afghanistan withdrawal. They have justice, their families have a peace of mind. We're going to continue to find the others, Mr. President. On behalf of the FBI, sir, I just want to thank you.
Thank you very much, Chris. Great job. Very good work, President. Ben, would you like to say something, please?
President Trump, the men and women of law enforcement say two things to me repeatedly. First, you have taken the handcuffs off them and let them do their jobs, and you let cops be cops. That's why all this is happening. The director, the deputy director are working around the clock. All of these great men and women in the FBI, they have families at home, and they are working during a government shutdown right now. Many of them have small children. Many of them, I was talking to an agent this morning, many of them have babies at home, and they are working around the clock to not only keep our country, but our world safe. And that's what Operation Summer Heat did. Thank you, Director, and to the Deputy Director for everything you did on behalf of the Department of Justice, and you're going to continue to keep doing. And they set the stage for what we're doing in Memphis. You're going to hear a lot more about that, our joint task force next week, but they set the stage for Memphis. And last night alone in Memphis, there were almost 70 arrests, there were 12 guns seized, and there was a 70-year-old man arrested as a result of our operation in Memphis who raped a child under the age of 3. That one case makes everything we're doing worthwhile. So thank you all for being here on behalf of both of us. Thank you, President Trump.
John, do you want to say something?
Sure. Thank you, Mr. President. So this is a great day, and I think there's stats that the director talked about which are important, but I want to give 2 examples of what Summer Heat has done that actually will apply hopefully to everybody in this room. The first is for over 4 years during the last administration, there was a hotel in a town, the middle of a town in Alaska, that was being run as a drug den. There were over 1,000 calls to 911 over 4.5 year period. There were multiple violent crimes, drug dealers, overdoses, and murders at this one hotel, ruining a community. Summer Heat went in there. It's not only arrested all the participants that were controlling the hotel, but seized the hotel. And so that's one example of what Summer Heat means to everyday Americans that just want to live in peace. The second example is a large narcotics trafficking group that was selling fentanyl in the state of Washington. They were shipping fentanyl using commercial aircraft, putting fentanyl pills and powder in suitcases, flying them from the southwest border, mostly Arizona, all the way to Washington. It had been going on for an extremely long time, and the entire organization was arrested. And I say those 2 examples because it's easy to look at the board and see 1,000 arrests. How much different is our communities now compared to the past 4 years? But there's actual life examples. Every one of these arrests means that our streets are safer, and that's because of the work of this administration, of President Trump and Director Patel. So I will tell you, Attorney General Bondi and I are together every day with Director Patel, figuring out ways that we can continue to do this work, and it's not going to stop. Like the Attorney General said, like the President said, this is just the beginning, or phase 1, or a start, whatever you want to say, but it will continue on. So thank
Fill
you,
the
Mr.
prisons
President.
up,
Thank you
it's
very
big
much.
business.
Mr. President, just one last thank you for the men and women at the FBI. You found a way to get these individuals paid during a government shutdown, our 1811 agents. So on behalf of the FBI, it's a great debt that we owe you, sir. They're now have to pay for their families, so thank you.
And the military, good. Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. Any questions, please? Brian, go ahead.
first of all, I know the feedback I'm getting from the American people, they want to say thank you. Law and order is not an option in this country. It's a mandate. So I know the American people thank you for that. In terms of the guns that have been taken off the street, do you have a number of how many guns were taken away from someone that had a prior felony or a previous crime that perhaps we can prosecute that? Because I know that wasn't the case under Joe Biden.
You don't take guns off the street from people that are allowed to have guns. So every gun that we're taking off the street is because it belongs to somebody who is not allowed to have it. Could be a felon, could be somebody who is illegally, there's all sorts of conditions. But if there's a gun taken off the streets by the FBI, it's because the person who has it is not allowed to. It's not somebody who's lawfully allowed to have it. So every single one of those guns were taken off of people that are allowed to have it.
And not including the FBI, all of the other agencies. ATF alone since January 20th has removed over 25,000 illegal guns off our streets just since President Trump's been in office.
Mr. President, if I could follow up on that, could there be any further conversation to have national concealed carry apply to actual DC? Like if you had a driver's license in Texas and you had a permit, of course you could drive.
Well, as you know, they've been talking about that for a long time. It's an interesting question. A lot of people feel strongly both ways, but we are talking about that, Brian. Thank you.
Mr. President, on Venezuelan boats, I want to ask you, why not have the Coast Guard stop them, which it is empowered by law to do? You know, this way you can confirm who's on the boat and ensure that they're doing what you suspect.
Because we've been doing that for 30 years and it has been totally ineffective. They have faster boats. Some of these boats are seriously, I mean, they're world-class speedboats, but they're not faster than missiles. But we've been trying to do that for years, and so much of the drugs, 25-30% would come in through the seas. Right now we have, I would say, none coming in through the seas. In fact, I don't know about the fishing industry. If you want to go fishing, a lot of people aren't deciding to even go fishing. We've almost totally stopped it by sea. Now we'll stop it by land. But it never worked. It never worked when you did it in a very politically correct manner.
What's the next step in this war on cartels, and are you considering options, are you considering strikes on land?
Well, I don't want to tell you exactly, but we are certainly looking at land now because we've got the sea very well under control. We've had a couple of days where there isn't a boat to be found. And that, I view that as a good thing, not a bad thing. But we had tremendous amounts coming in by boats, by very expensive boats. You know, they have a lot of money, very fast, very expensive boats that were pretty big. And the way you look at it is every boat that we knock out, we save 25,000 American lives. So every time you see a boat and you feel badly, you say, wow, that's rough. It is rough, but if you lose 3 people and save 25,000 people, these are people that are killing our population. Every boat is saving 25,000 lives, and you can see it. The boats get hit, and you see that fentanyl all over the ocean. It's like floating in bags. It's all over the place, and it's a tremendous. We're saving tremendous amounts of lives. Yeah.
I know you talked about, I have a question for you, and then I also have a question for Director Patel. I know you talked about having some distaste for Boston recently. Is this one of those cities that you might be looking into, and can you give us a hint about other cities that you might be?
You're saying for where? For where?
For Boston.
Yeah, well, Boston has a bad mayor who at least is a reasonable IQ person. You know, most of them are low IQ, but and they're so bad. I mean, what's going on in Chicago is just, you'd think the guy would say, hey, look, we have a problem, Mr. President. Could you come in and straighten it out? We could have that done in a month if we had their cooperation. It's going to be done anyway, but we could have it done in a month. Yeah, Boston, she's got 4 areas that are, wrong. And, somebody said, would we think about taking the World Cup away from Boston if they don't straighten it out? The answer is yes, we have the right to do that with FIFA. So if we think that LA is going to be bad, or we think that applies a little bit to the Olympics too, but we'll talk about FIFA first. FIFA is very hot. If we think there's any reason that, whether it's Boston or anywhere else, that they're not doing their job, we're going to take those World Cup games and move them someplace else.
Thank you. And then Director Patel, there's been so many conspiracy theories swirling around about the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Do you have any updates for us, especially in light of all the online content that everyone's been talking about.
The only thing we deal with at the FBI and the Department of Justice is facts. And we delivered at record speed a manhunt to capture Charlie Kirk's alleged assassin in 33 hours. And if you put that in perspective, to Luigi Mangione, for the Boston model, it took them 5 days and a police officer lost their life in the manhunt. We are running on absolutely every single lead, and the best thing we can do to honor my friend Charlie Kirk's life is to make sure that everyone involved is prosecuted to the full extent of the law, and that's what we're focused on, investigating the facts, not trading in conspiracy theories.
Okay,
Mr. President, thank you so much.
Thank you.
In light of China's export curbs on rare earths, do you view India as a reliable partner going forward? And are you planning to meet Prime Minister Modi in Malaysia? Are you open to
Yeah.
talks in terms of?
yeah, sure, he's a friend of mine, we have a great relationship, he just said that 2 days ago, as you know. We have a great relationship. No, we were not happy with him buying oil from Russia, because that lets Russia continue on with this ridiculous war where they've lost 1.5 million people, by the way. Russia's lost 1.5 million people, soldiers mostly. This is a war that should have never started, but it's a war that Russia should have won in the first week, and they're going into the 4th year. And I want to see it stop. So I was not happy that India was buying oil. And he assured me today that they will not be buying oil from Russia. That's a big stop. Now I got to get China to do the same thing. You know, that is relatively easy compared to what we just did over the last week in the Middle East. Middle East was 3,000 years, and we got it done. This is 3 years, and I think we'll get it done. I think that President Putin, I think he wants to get it done. We'll see. There's a great animosity between him and Zelensky. You probably have noticed, right? And it's, I think it's hurting the process. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, thank you. Curious, why did you authorize the CIA to go into Venezuela? And is there more information you can share about these strikes on the alleged?
Well, I can't do that. I authorized for 2 reasons, really. Number one, they have emptied their prisons into the United States of America. They came in through the, they came in through the border. They came in because we had an open border policy. And as soon as I heard that, I said, a lot of these countries, they're not the only country, but they're the worst abuser. And they've entered they've allowed thousands and thousands of prisoners, mental institution, people from mental institutions, insane asylums, emptied out into the United States. We're bringing them back, but that's a really bad, and they did it at a level that probably not, many countries have done it, but not like Venezuela. They were down and dirty. And the other thing are drugs. We have a lot of drugs coming in from Venezuela. And a lot of the Venezuelan drugs come in through the sea, so you get to see that. But we're going to stop them by land also.
Does the CIA have authority to take out Maduro?
Oh, I don't want to answer a question like that. That's a ridiculous question for me to be given. Not really a ridiculous question, but wouldn't it be a ridiculous question for me to answer? But I think Venezuela is feeling heat, but I think a lot of other countries are feeling heat too. We're not going to let this country, our country, be ruined because other people want to drop, as you say, their worst. They have given us their worst. They've loaded up our country with prisoners, with mentally ill people that are seriously ill, criminally ill. And we're not going to take it. And so, I mean, it's just one of those things. And I can tell you, we've taken care of the sea. There's nobody, and we're watching. And if we see it, we'll save it. Yeah, please.
On the ships though, sir, there are Republicans and Democrats up on the Hill concerned that in the briefings they've gotten about those attacks, they're not necessarily getting information about who was on them and what exactly was on those ships. Can you ensure that?
But they are given information that they were loaded up with drugs, and that's the thing that matters. When they're loaded up with drugs, they're fair game. And every one of those ships were, and they're not ships, they're boats, they're speedboats. They're extremely fast, record-setting type speedboats. They cost a lot of money, and they have a lot of money because they're drug sellers. But they know one thing, and they all have the same thing in common. There's drug dust. They call it drug dust. They call it fentanyl dust all over the boat after those bombs go off. And you can take along. We know before. We know when they go out. We know we have much information about each boat that goes out. Deep, strong information. Yeah, please.
So you have Volodymyr Zelensky here this week. What is your message at this stage of the war for him? And shy of tomahawks.
To who is it?
For Zelensky.
Yeah.
Shy of tomahawks for Ukraine. Are you considering other options, and will you speak with Vladimir Putin about
No, we're looking at other options, we are. President Zelensky's coming in. I'm not a fan of the war. I'm not a fan of the way it started. It should have never happened. It wouldn't have started if I were president. The election was rigged. And because of that, we lost, a lot of lives have been lost because of that war. Not American lives, but if I can save a lot of lives, that's why I'm in it. I want to save lives. I've had 8 wars. The Prime Minister of Pakistan got up the other day, said so beautifully, says, you saved millions of lives. He told that to a group of people right in this office. He said the president saved millions of lives. And I think what he's referring to is the fact that that would have been with India nuclear war. That was getting very close. 7 planes, they don't talk about it, but 7 aircraft were shot down. In fact, we have the new ambassador to India right here. They're well represented. You better represent us, not them, okay? But Sergio's going to do a great job. He's going to do a great job. But no, we'll be talking about the war with him, and we'll be talking about, they want to go offensive. I'll make a determination on that, but they would like to go offensive, you know that, and we'll have to make a determination.
Question, given you have the FBI Director and Attorney General here today, Jim Jordan has asked Jack Smith to appear in front of the House Judiciary.
You mean deranged? Jack, he's a deranged individual, yeah.
He's asked him to...
Well, they should. I'm surprised it takes so long. We're talking about violent crime. What about the crime against a political opponent? That's what we have to talk about too.
Jordan would like to understand the full extent to which the Biden-Harris Justice Department weaponized federal law enforcement. What do you think the committee will find out?
I think it was the worst weaponization of a political opponent in the history of the world, let alone this country. And I hope that everybody's, they're involved in it. I'm not. I'm the one that had to suffer through it and ultimately win. But what they did was criminal. Deranged Jack Smith, in my opinion, is a criminal. And I noticed his interviewer was, I think that was Weissman. And I hope they're going to look into Weissman too. Weissman's a bad guy. And he had somebody in Lisa, who was his puppet, worked in the office really as the top person. And I think that she should be looked at very strongly. There was tremendous criminal activity having to do. If we don't have fair elections in this country, we're not going to have a country. And I've said it from the beginning, fair elections and borders. And we need also fair press. Because if you don't have fair press, it's very tough. And we've got the strongest border of anybody. Nobody has a border. We have a border where the numbers just came out again. You saw 0 people came in illegally. Now, we do take people into our country legally, but 0 people. But, you're talking about a different subject. You're talking about political crime. They have committed massive political crime. I hope they're looking at Shifty Schiff. I hope they're looking at all these people. And I'm allowed to find out. I'm allowed to, I'm, in theory, the chief law enforcement officer. But I have a very good, talented group. This is about something else, but I hope they're looking at political crime because there's never been so much political crime against a political opponent as what I had to go through. They raided my house in Florida. It was an illegal raid. I have a lawsuit that was doing very well. And when I became president, I said, I'm sort of suing myself. I don't know, how do you settle the lawsuit? I'll say, give me X dollars, right? And I don't know what to do with the lawsuit. It's a great lawsuit. And now I won. It sort of looks bad. I'm suing myself, right? So I don't know. But that was a lawsuit that was very strong, very powerful. They raided illegally my house in Florida, Mar-a-Lago. They went through the drawers of my young son. They went through all of the cabinets and drawers of the First Lady. She walked in, she said, wow, what happened? Because she's very meticulous, and this wasn't so meticulous. As she looked into the drawers and she saw everything a mess. It's what they did against a person that just got out of office. And then you look at these corrupt people, you look at Hunter Biden, you look at the signature, as an example, the Europen. I just signed so many different things. An admiral, a 4-star general. I'm signing them left and right, the commissions. And by the way, I want to compliment John Thune and also Mike, our great speaker. But John Thune, all of a sudden I'm getting these things by the hundreds. I was getting one every 2 weeks. It would have been 4 years before you got them in more. You would have had some that didn't even get in, all because of Democrat obstruction. So John Thune did a great job. I must have signed 200 into the administration. We're just about caught up. It's amazing. And so compliments to John. He had to do some things that were very tough to do that he didn't want to do, but he was forced to do it by the Democrats. And as far as the shutdown is concerned, this is a Democrat Schumer shutdown. And he's trying to do it to get relevance back into the party because he's a loser. I've known him all his life. He's always been sort of a loser, but an intelligent one. But I think he's losing IQ points with time. I think that happens. I hope it hasn't happened with me. I know if it did, you guys will let me know about it very quickly.
Question on violent crime, sir. Here in DC, a judge has given the two teenagers that beat up ex-Village staffer Big Balls probation.
It's incredible.
And no jail time. Is this justice?
Janine Pirro is doing a fantastic job, and she is beside herself because you have these radical left judges that they beat the hell out of this guy. And it was many people against this one guy who was really trying to protect his girlfriend. He didn't want his hooded over the door but they really beat him up badly. That just happened, right? Wow, that's terrible. I think the judge should be ashamed of himself. That's a big problem. You know, they can do their job and then they go into a court and the people are protected by these, I don't know where they come from. Where do these people come from? Where do the judges come from? I want to compliment on behalf of Pam and Todd and all of us because, Cash, I think that Janine has done a fantastic job. And the case I heard was like flawless. It's a flawless case. They have them on tape. They have everything. And then a judge gives them a little probation. Right? These are rough guys. And they're young. And if that happens, they're going to grow up. They're going to be real bad.
Stop it.
They're going to cause a lot of problems.
You grew up Trump and you're the president.
What were the conversations like with Prime Minister Modi and the other?
I think they were great. He reported to me that he's a great man, you know. Modi is a great man. That he loves Trump. Now, I don't know if the word love, I don't want you to take that any different. I don't want to destroy his political career, okay? But you have to understand, I've watched India for years. It's an incredible country. And every single year you'd have a new leader. I mean, some would be in there for a few months. And this was year after year after year. And my friend has been there now for a long time. And he's assured me there will be no oil purchased from Russia. I don't know, maybe that's a breaking story. Can I say that? Would you say? There will be no oil. He's not buying his oil from Russia. It started. You know, you can't do it immediately. It's a little bit of a process. But the process is going to be over with soon. And all we want from President Putin is stop this. Stop killing Ukrainians and stop killing Russians because he's killing a lot of Russians. Again, it doesn't make him look good. It's a war that he should have won in 1 week, and he's now going into his 4th year. That does not make this big so-called war machine look good. But he could make a settlement. We're willing to settle. I thought we had a deal. The hatred of the two leaders is very, you know, it's an obstacle. It's an obstacle. There's no question about it. But I thought we had a deal 2 months ago. Who would think I created peace in the Middle East and can't get the two guys to settle? But I think we'll get them. But if India doesn't buy oil, it makes it much easier. And they're not going to buy. They assured me they will, within a short period of time, they will not be buying oil from Russia. And they'll go back to Russia after the war's over. Jennifer?
On the shutdown, sir, are FBI officials being paid right now? Are all the FBI officials being paid and are all the...
Well, that's what I understand. I hope so.
Thanks to your reverse, Mr. President, the 1811 special leaves that the FBI are going to receive their paychecks.
Got a lot of people paid, actually. We got the people that we want paid, okay? And we want the FBI paid, we want the military paid. We got the people that we want paid. And I'll tell you, the Democrats, they don't talk about this. You know, we're getting rid of programs that we didn't like, but that were negotiated in, but we didn't like. We're terminating those programs, and they're going to be terminated on a permanent basis. And it's thousands of people, and it's you know, billions of dollars. We're getting rid of a lot of things that we never wanted because of the fact that they made this stupid move. And they don't want to talk about it. You know, they have their day coming up. I hear very few people are going to be there, by the way. But they have their day coming up, and they want to have their day in the sun. But they should really make a deal. So what we're doing, I mean, they call him Darth Vader, but he's actually a very nice person, Russell Vought. But Russell Vought is really terminating tremendous numbers of Democrat projects. There's not only jobs, I mean, the project in Manhattan, the project in New York, it's billions and billions of dollars that Schumer has worked 20 years to get. It's terminated. Tell him it's terminated, Jennifer. All right.
On Hamas, sir, what is your understanding of the pace of returning the deceased hostages? Are you pleased?
Well, they're
with that?
looking for, absolutely, they're looking. So we have the living hostages all back. They returned some more today. It's a gruesome process. I almost hate to talk about it. But they're digging. They're actually digging. There are areas where they're digging and they're finding a lot of bodies. Then they have to separate the bodies. You wouldn't believe this. And some of those bodies have been in there a long time. And some of them are under rubble. They have to remove rubble. But there are graves, and some are in tunnels that died in tunnels that are way down under the earth. And the tunnels are like 3 feet. Can you believe it? 3 feet high. They lived like this for a long period of time. It's a horrible atrocity. At the same time, we, meaning Israel, but I knew everything they were doing pretty much. I knew most of the things they were doing, but they've killed probably 70,000 of these people, Hamas. And I said, it's time now. So we'll see what happens. We'll also see what happens. Your next question is going to be the weapons. We want the weapons to be given up, sacrificed, and they've agreed to do it. Now they have to do it. And if they don't do it, we'll do it.
We had the head of CENTCOM today suggest that Hamas needs to hurry up and disarm and follow your comprehensive plan.
Yeah.
That was the head of CENTCOM saying that. Is that not a signal to Hamas, to the rest of the world, that at some point the U.S. military may more directly engage?
We won't need the U.S. military. We won't need it.
Why not just you?
Because we're very much involved in it. If we weren't involved, there wouldn't be peace. If we didn't destroy the nuclear capability of Iran, that deal would have never happened for two reasons. The Arab nations would not have felt bold enough to do it because you have a very powerful, at that time, Iran. It's not powerful anymore between what Israel and us did. Because, the attack was, if you look at it, we helped them very much. They will be the first to tell you, including shooting down thousands of drones that were coming into Israel. We shot them down. We were shooting them down like it was target practice, but we shot down thousands of drones and missiles also going into Israel. But between what we did to Iran that way with the, conventional, we will call it, and what see that beautiful plane, that B-2, I noticed it on the desk. I always thought it was beautiful, but I never understood it. Now I understand. It took in hundreds of thousands of bombs in the form of two, but hundreds of thousands of pounds of bombs. And every single bomb hit perfectly. Then they sent Tomahawks in. They sent 30 Tomahawks on top of it. And that was totally, CNN said, well, maybe it wasn't as bad as Trump said, because I said obliterated. Obliterated is not a strong enough word, actually. And you saw the Atomic Energy Commission came out and said the word obliteration is very, very, think of it. They came in under potential fire. They entered Iran airspace late at night, in the dark, no moon. The moon was low for a reason. Was what time we picked it. Couldn't see anything. And they hit every target, and they weren't hit. Nobody saw that plane. That plane is stealth. Nobody saw it. The problem with that is it may be stealth today, but tomorrow it won't be. And we just ordered about 20 brand new B-2 bombers. It's unbelievable as a weapon. I know Putin, when I was riding with him in Alaska, we passed a lot of them. And he said, that really did the trick. I said, yeah, it did. It's amazing. The flying wing. It's
no reason for the U.S. military to get involved in Gaza.
No, I don't see that. No, I think we're going to handle it very well. We'll be helping Israel. But we have other countries that are now. We signed, many countries signed. And many of those countries relatively are very strong military powers. And Hamas has no support. See, Hamas had the support of Iran. And now Iran says, don't get us involved. The last time they got them involved didn't work out too well. So they used to have the support of Iran. Today, Iran they're trying to survive. When I heard the reports 2 weeks ago, Iran's looking to build a nuclear weapon. I said, don't worry about it. They got a lot of things they want to do before nuclear weapons. I said, the last thing they want to do is a nuclear weapon. It didn't work out. And if they did a nuclear weapon before they got even close, that site would be attacked and it would be wiped out. Yeah.
Mr. President, you're meeting with President Xi in a few weeks.
Yeah.
If you can't come to an agreement or a deal at that meeting, are we in for a sustained trade war with China?
Well, you're in one now. Look, we have 100% tariff. If we didn't have tariffs, we would be exposed as being a nothing. We would have no defense. You know, they've used tariffs on us, but we've never had anybody sitting in that chair that felt the need to do it. And they've allowed us to be $37 trillion in debt, et cetera, et cetera. Tariffs are a very important tool for our defense, for our national security. If we don't have tariffs, we're not going to have national security. As an example, if you look at Pakistan and Iran, I told them I was in the midst of negotiating a trade deal with Iran, and Pakistan was going to be in line. And because of tariffs, they all want to negotiate much differently. We were making a good deal, and then I heard that they're shooting at each other. And I said during one of my conversations, are you guys going to go to war? 2 nuclear powers. We are thinking about, I said, here's the deal. You go to war, I'm going to put a 200% tariff. I'm going to stop you from doing any business in the United States. I said it to both of them. Within 24 hours, the war ended. That would have been a nuclear war. And again, the Prime Minister of Pakistan, who was here 2 weeks ago, said that man saved many millions of lives in front of a whole group of people because he thought it was going to be war. But when it came to war or having to pay massive tariffs, the tariffs overrode. That's why it's so important. Not only the money, we're taking in trillions of dollars, not only the money, the power to keep peace, the power to be used for good is enormous. But a lot of people didn't understand tariffs. It's also made us very rich. We have a big case coming up in the Supreme Court, and I will tell you, that's one of the most important cases in the history of our country. Because if we don't win that case, we will be a weakened, troubled, financial mess for many, many years to come. I don't even know if survivable is a good term. And if we do, we're going to be the most powerful economic country in the world. And all we're doing is using them as a defense against what took place for many years. China would charge us tariffs. It was incredible, but we weren't allowed to charge. And we're allowed to do whatever we want. We just had presidents that didn't want to do it for whatever reason. And it was nothing. But of the 8 wars, I was saying 7, of the 8 wars, I would say tariffs are directly responsible for me ending 6 of them, 5 or 6. Without the tariffs, you have wars raging all over the world. With the tariffs, other than Russia, we have no wars out there. And we made a lot of good friends too. Tariffs are so important to our national security. If we don't have tariffs, we don't have national security. Our country would suffer a level that, because they use so strongly on us. As an example, the European Union, they won't take our cars, they won't take our agriculture, they won't take anything, but they send their cars in, Mercedes, BMW, Volkswagen, by the millions. We don't send any cars. They don't take them. They were tariffing us out. Agricultural products, they don't take our agriculture. They want their farmers to do it. I understand that. But it was very unfair, and they were tariffing our product. They're keeping up by using tariffs. And we didn't use them, but I used them. And now we made one of the great deals with your $650 billion they pay us. And we've evened it out. It's really a good thing to see. And you have to understand, they've all signed. Japan, South Korea. South Korea, $350 billion up front. Japan, $650 billion. And they've all agreed to it. They're all happy. But before, it was a total ripoff. And if we don't have the use of tariffs, we have no national security. This country will have no financial security, will not have national security. And the people that brought the lawsuit are people that are aligned with foreign nations that are now being treated fairly, as opposed to just ripping us off and ripping us asunder. So, but if we are not allowed to use what other people use against us, there's no defense. It'll be a disaster for America. That's why I think I'm going to go to the Supreme Court to watch it. I've not done that. and I had some pretty big cases. I think it's one of the most important cases ever brought, because we will be defenseless against the world. Okay?
You're going to the chair, please?
Did you have one? Yes, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to ask you about the Georgia Senate race. I know it's very early, but there's several Republicans in that field that are vying for your endorsement.
A lot of good people in that field.
Yes.
I know all of them, actually. I haven't made a decision on that, but you have some very good people in the Georgia Senate race.
Well,
What
Governor
else?
has endorsed.
No, I know, the governor has, and he's spoken to me about it a lot. He likes that candidate a lot. And I understand that. I haven't made a decision yet. But I'm following that race very carefully. I think it's very important for Georgia to get a real senator, because the senator they have now is a horrible senator. He allows all the crime, all the borders. You have open borders. I mean, his whole philosophy is a disaster. That's not representative of the people of Georgia. I know the people of Georgia. I won Georgia 3 times, but they say twice. Okay, I won it very big the last time, and I won it big the first time, and I won it big the second time. But we had criminals that didn't allow. I mean, I hope they're going to go into that. I hope they go into the votes which are being stored in Fulton County and take a real look at those votes. Okay, because I won it the second time too. But I know Georgia very well. I love Georgia. Those people are great, and they deserve a good senator, because the man they have now is a weak, ineffective person. Okay.
Mr. President, I wonder what you think about.
By the way, you won Georgia 3 times.
Yeah, I agree.
Stop
You agree with
kissing
me?
his
He's
butt.
the media.
For someone that
He's the
spends
media.
a lot of time in Georgia, I believe you won that. I really have a question about.
You know, the word believe isn't strong enough, right? You
I
know.
There you go.
It's true. I know I won too. We have the great Newt Gingrich. Newt, you agree with us? Good. Otherwise, I'd have him dismissed immediately from the. You know, his wife, as you know, is becoming an ambassador to a great country, Callista. So congratulations. And we're going to take a picture. And the only reason I'm doing, he speaks so well of me. He said, I'll go down as the greatest president in history.
No.
And then he blew it. He said, I'm not sure if I put him above Washington or Lincoln. So I'm not that happy about that, dude.
I've got a question about the weaponization of the DOJ. The media often says
Here
your
he
partner
goes.
is weaponizing the
He's a
DOJ.
plant
That's the
reporter.
opposite. That's the opposite. Todd, you represented President Trump in probably the greatest weaponization of the DOJ by Alvin Bragg. You know firsthand, if you can describe what you saw under the Biden administration and how they weaponized the DOJ.
Well, I mean, I think it's hard to describe what happened in the last 4 years since President Trump.
Alvin Bragg, a local prosecutor, his office staffed by Simon Wiener. Jack Smith, Smith is a special counsel, staffs his entire office with DOJ prosecutors. And then there are countless things that happen. All the writing, most of them on the docket, that require no explanation except a complete abomination of the place that we turned on right now and the government itself. So when people talk about this department weaponizing, it's embarrassing. Because there's no scenario in which you look at what we're doing, restoring justice, doing the right thing in every single case, and say that that's weaponization, and yet remain eerily silent about what happened for the past 3 years. I mean, you read these articles and giggle, because it cannot be true that people really think that what they did to him, not once, not twice, I'm still counting 3, 4 times, but we're the ones that are weaponized. So this man is not weaponizing the Department of Justice. We're not weaponizing the Department of Justice. It's the opposite. I mean, and also, nobody questions what I'm saying because it's true, because we all lived the past 4 years. So listen.
They never want to bring up the details, but I watch the fake news, and he's weaponized, and he wants to send them to prison. He wants all this. They indicted me like 5 times. I took a mugshot. Who would have thought it turned out to my favor? Because it was a good shot. But I had to take a mugshot. It's right out there on the door. New York Post, front page of every paper in the world. I had a mugshot. They wanted to send me, nobody says that. They say, he's acting very, very tough. He's acting unfair. Let me tell you, if they've been nice to anybody, it's to those criminals. Because they are so good having to do with all of the things we're talking about today with violent crime. But if anything, I think this Justice Department has been so respectful of the law, because the other Justice Department with Rita or Lisa and all of that scum, real scum, what they did to the political opponent of a guy that has a seriously low IQ. Now, in his case, it was low based on his career, but it got real low, okay? It was descending rapidly. But what they did to go after his political opponent is legendary. Worse than any third world country, banana republic. And what we're doing is nothing. Are you kidding? Nothing. They write stories. Why aren't they doing this? And we'll leave. I don't have to leave it up to them, but I choose to at this moment at least. But there's never been anybody treated in the history of politics. You know, they say the two worst treated presidents by the media, etc., was that man right there, the late great Abraham Lincoln, and this guy right there, Andrew Jackson. They say Andrew Jackson was treated terribly. They give him number 1 and number 2, but that was before I came along, Newt. I say I have number 1 times 10. Nobody's been treated like I've been treated. And I did a great job. You know, we had a great first term. And we had one of the most successful economies in history, etc. I rebuilt the military. We did a tremendous amount. The last part, we had a horrible thing called COVID, and we handled that well. We made ventilators for nations all over the world. We did a great job. Probably never get credit for it. Look at the therapeutics, the Regeneron, all the different things, the vaccines, all the things we did. We did a great job, but we had to focus on that. But we had the best economy in the history of our country. We're blowing it away right now. Look at the stock market. It hit another all-time high today. That's 48 days out of the few days that I've served. 48 days have already hit record highs. And we have, maybe most importantly, the number, we have now, I was saying 17, it's over $18 trillion is being poured into our country. It's because of the election and because of tariffs. Without the tariffs, you wouldn't have probably 18 cents. It's because of the tariffs, because there are no tariffs if they build in our country. And they understand that. So we have medical companies coming up. We have the AI. We're dominating China in AI. Everybody said that's impossible. We're dominating. I'm letting these massive plants build their own electric generating plants. They're becoming utilities in addition to everything. Maybe they'll make more money with that, who knows? But they're building their own electric because we have an old grid. You wouldn't be able to do that. And we're dominating China. We're dominating with AI, which seems to be the new big thing. That's the new internet. That's the new whatever. So we're very happy with the job we're doing. I'm very happy with the job they're doing. But when you tell me about attacking a political opponent, there's never been, and I'm a legitimate opponent. I watch my son. He's got the #1 best-selling book now. My son Eric, he's a wonderful kid. That guy spent so much time with subpoenas. He got more subpoenas than anybody in the history of our country. Think of it. And he's an innocent, good boy. He's a good kid. He's always been a good kid. All of my children are good. They went through hell. My children went through federal grand juries on a hoax. Think of it. You have Adam Schiff and Hillary Clinton and others make up a hoax and then wanting to so they know it's a hoax, and they go before the press, say Donald Trump Jr. will go to jail because of what he's done with Russia. I'll never forget, I get a call from my son Don, and he said, Dad, I'm being accused of something with Russia. I don't know anything about Russia. He didn't know anything about it. Think of it, how bad they are. They say he'll go to prison for the rest of his life. He knew nothing about it. On a hoax, the Russian hoax, Russia hoax, on a story that they made up. And they made it up in order to explain why Hillary Clinton lost an election that she lost by pretty good numbers. The second one, actually the second one was even better, but the third one, this one was too big to rig. It was just too big to rig. They would have rigged it. They tried to rig it. But think of it. They want to send my children to jail, but they were after Don in particular. I'll never forget Adam Shifty Schiff, a total crooked guy, lying in Congress, making up a phone conversation that I have with you. Totally made up. Then when he heard it was taped, he wanted to disappear. And Nancy Pelosi went crazy because they wanted to impeach me based on the conversation that was made up. When they heard the tape, everybody, I won it unanimously in the Republican Party. I got every single vote, something that never happens, and I beat it. But think of it, they want to put my son in jail for something that they made up. So they know they made it up. And they say he will serve the rest of his life in prison. These are sick, bad people. And don't tell me about us going after them. If anything, we've been very, very soft. I wouldn't be that soft, I'll tell you that. Thank you very much, everybody.
Wow. This was, I don't know, this news conference was a little bit different. I guess like Trump is controlling the news media, he's really having news conferences almost on a daily basis. So I don't know what other stories are out there, but he is controlling the news cycle. We're going to take a look at the poll to see what you guys have voted. Has Trump, what's your poll? Has Trump use of the National Guard on American citizens going too far? And it looks like 56% said yes, he went too far, and 45% said that I guess he hasn't gone too far.
It's about 50-50.
So the majority of Americans, from 55%, is 10% difference. 55% said he went too far. 45% said that he didn't go as far. So the majority of the people taking the polls feel as though that he's going too far. Like, I don't know, when Trump came in office, like our borders were wide open. We were so concerned about so many illegals coming into this country that people had a lot of fear. And the reason why they had a lot of fear, I'm gonna close the poll, guys. The reason why they had a lot of fear because Trump was saying that we had the cartel, ISIS, Venezuela empty out their prisons. They was giving us numbers like it was over 15 million convicted rapists that came into this country. There was over 11,000 convicted murderers. They said that ISIS came in, Trinidad and Raga. I never heard of all of this. Trinidad and Raga, MS-13 gangs, 350 terrorists, 2 million gotaways, 55,000 Chinese nationals. Go ahead.
You mean 15,000?
Yeah, 15,000. I'm sorry, 15,000 convicted rapists came in from Venezuela. He said that people were free from insane asylums, and plus we were seeing some of the threats in the city. It was like some of them were taking over cities like Los Angeles. We were seeing all this crime. It's like they were burning out flags, had no respect for America. So, and all we saw was Tom Homan saying we're going to close the borders. And Trump said that it was 20 million people that came in. Other people say that it was like 14 million people. But when they came into our country, they came in homeless. Yeah. And we were just traveling. And one of our travels was in Atlanta. And we were looking at all these homeless Americans living on the streets. And that's disturbing because we saw this country let in at least 14 million homeless people that were given health care, SNAP benefits, education, driver's license, jobs, occupations. They were given Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid.
I thought something I guess you could say is like a joke. Not really a joke, but I'm saying it's first Tom Homan was like a main character. Now he's like an extra.
Yeah, we were like, it was so much going on, and he was putting their pictures in the White House at the lawns and everything. They were raping a lot of the kids, the children, especially little girls. That was a big thing. They were taking over like places like New York, and because they have you have your sanctuary cities. So you had Colorado. They were going in apartment buildings, taking over apartment buildings. Just all this crime. Boston. All these different places, and now you don't even hear about that at all. It's like when he mentioned Big Balls, who was a former employee of Elon Musk, once he had gotten beaten up, it like that triggered Trump, and he used to like forget about all the illegal immigrants and jobs. He was promising jobs here for Americans. His attention turned to American citizens. And now it's like a count game. Like they're just arresting people. The people they're arresting are not all rapists and criminals. These American citizens. It's like to show that they're doing a job, they're arresting people any type of way possible. And then he's like, oh, well, the people, they got probation. They were kids. The dude got beaten up. But he fails to talk about all of the mass shooters. When the mass shooter went in there into the school and shot up all those children that were praying, he didn't mention it. He didn't mention this killer's name. He said nothing. When these police officers from York, Pennsylvania, that were murdered, he didn't mention anything about it. 3 of them, 5 of them ambushed, 3 of them lost their lives, 2 critically injured. And the media in York, Pennsylvania wouldn't even mention the criminal's name. They called him an actor. It's like when the cop was killed, shot 15 times and 10 times in the back of his head, he doesn't mention that. The CDC officer killed, he didn't mention that. It's like I'm looking at all these mass shootings, school shootings. When Charlie Kirk unfortunately lost his life, they were hoping it was going to be a black person, so then they could but they still try to go to the HBCUs and try to blame the black community for allegedly what Tyler Robinson, who is a white man, what he did in a predominantly white state, predominantly white school, and it was a white man, but they blamed the left. He calls them the radical left, but it wasn't the radical left. It was one person that decided to do that. One person. And until he's proven guilty, his name is Tyler, is the one that pulled the trigger, Tyler Robinson. So that's why I have a problem with him talking about he's going to the cities, he's going to and many more. What kind of presidency is this? And then they brought all the generals, 800 generals, admirals, and staffers. Those are the people with the PhDs or whatever, people that's on staff. They have them all leave their posts from around the world, probably costs us $25 million for them to come there and say that he wants to use them. They could be used for training, going after American citizens. Now, the military are not police. They're not trained to police. They're trained for threats to this country that they're supposed to protect us, not to attack us. He's using... We already got the FBI, the police. We have all these people in federal agencies that's already taking care of it. And crime, which he wants to elevate the numbers, crime has gone down in everywhere that he was talking about. But the crimes that are happening with white people, he's not mentioning it. He'll mention Chicago 50,000 times with statistics months ago, but he's pulling the funds. Everybody knows when an area is impoverished and there's no hope and you remove the money from the communities, you remove the programs that keep them off the street, to provide the jobs for them, that changes things. And I just don't understand how, if we want to make America safe, then we got to look at all crime from all communities, because all communities commit crime. You're never going to have a crime-free world, period. But prisons, let's get to this. Prisons is a business.
Yeah, why?
Go ahead. Prison is a big business, probably $1 trillion business. So it looks like he wants to fill up the prisons. Because if you're arresting all these people, you want to put them in jail, you want to fill the prisons. But what I don't like is his language, is that you want to take young people, and he's a convicted criminal sitting in the White House, and he was given grace. But you want to take other people God created, don't give them grace, and you're saying you want to lock them up now because of their skin tone. So if you don't like skin tone on America here in the world, then you're not going to be welcome in heaven, because heaven, God created all the skin tones. And guess what? The skin tones are in heaven. God created the human race. He didn't make any human race of people more superior than the other. He made one race, the human race. So if you got a problem down here with skin tone, then I guess your goal is not to go to heaven, because God is not racist, he's not prejudiced, and he's righteous and holy.
Yeah, why?
Go ahead.
It's a different topic, but why Tom Homan is out of the news? I looked it up. I didn't notice. He has allegations regarding his name that he took like 50,000 undercover cash.
Yeah, they don't quiet out Tom Homan because I guess he was supposed to be under investigation for some bribery of money that he had taken $50,000. So they're finding corruption that they sweep under the rug. So you don't even hear Tom Homan's name at all. Yeah. So Trump now is controlling the media. He's doing a news conference every day. But you're targeting the black community. The Biden did that with the 1994 crime bill, trying to say like people are going to be more safer if black people are locked up when we're not the threat. We've never been in charge of this country. We didn't cause whatever's going on in this country wasn't caused by black people. But black people have always been a scapegoat for everything that goes on when we were victimized barbarically. And still want to know why people react the way they do. And then when you have the president sitting at the highest office want to say that they are thugs, but the ones that's killing cops and mass shooters and raping and murdering their families, he don't call them thugs. Oh, well, they have mental illness. Well, we've been traumatized.
Out of every...
And we have mental illness in our community as well. But that same grace is not given.
Dude, don't you... Your name is Dude. I'm not just saying dude, but dude. don't you think out of everything that what you're saying your race has done to people of this world, that we don't have fatigue about what y'all have done?
You know, they have
Native Americans.
You know, they
that we sound stupid.
Black people have never been a threat to this country. We've never been in charge of this country. We're not the threat. We know who the threat is. We never enslaved a community. We never wiped out a community.
And I keep saying
and no, but you know what? That's okay. They started that. See, they is, you know, what we want to call white exhaustion. It's like we're the ones that should have white fatigue. What has continued to go on because of what Trump has done since he's been in office. If you're a young, upstanding, or just a black man, if you go into a store, you're already assumed a threat because of the language. That's not right. That's not right. When I supported Trump, I was supporting him from his last administration, because I felt as though that he did a lot for HBCUs. He did the First Step Act that when Biden did the 1994 crime bill that he wound up when Trump debated him and he had him apologize for what he did to the black community. That's what Trump ran on. And now he's doing the same thing. He gets all of us to go along. Oh yeah, you're safer. Or we're safer now. What if you're safer with whom? When you get who are the shooters when you go in the movie theater or in the grocery store or into Target or the school? It's not black people. Should we be running for every white person that we see? So this stuff that's going on, see, is not right.
Tony, that's just you making assumptions. You don't know how we act or how a random black person you see on the street acts.
We don't know how a random white person acts.
Yeah, they're saying you're a threat because of the way you act.
You know what? The thing about it is that the devil is a liar. The devil is a liar. You've been so brainwashed and stereotyped, and you see all this crime that's going on here that's not being committed by us. The crime is committed by the white community in massive numbers. But because they don't broadcast that, they tone it down, they don't show you the pictures. Just like when that Ukrainian woman that was unfortunately killed, murdered, whatever, the guy had mental illness. But they're not going to say that. But there was a black girl that was brutally, neck was slit prior to that. That wasn't on the news. It was a white young man that it was two medical students, two black medical students, and their brother. This white guy went and killed them, the medical students. No news, and the neighbors who were white, they were like, oh, he seemed like he was a nice person, came and pet my dog and all that, and the guy went in shooting, he went in shooting all of them. Where was the news in regards to what happened to them? And the HBCU, we got these guys that was trying to make a YouTube channel from the Fearless Debaters. That was all about getting clicks and views to get paid. And they're going along with Trump's scenario because he has a thing against black women, was what I'm finding out about, which I don't appreciate because a lot of us voted for him. And supported him. But it took such a turn so fast. And I don't like what I'm seeing going on in the country. I thought that he was under the banner of all of us doing well. I thought that he was under the banner that you can't separate communities. If I have a Democratic congressman, he has to support me even though I voted Republican. He has to support me. And I certainly don't want to see all these federal workers continually to lose their living wage jobs because they're not out here. He keeps talking about jobs and money. They're not here. When the last time they did a job report again? The last one was only 22,000, but over hundreds of thousands. I know for black women, it's been over 300,000. We've been hit the hardest. That's targeting.
Rodlin said, we need to stop talking about whites and start talking about the black on black issues in our community. Stop talking about
You know
racism.
what? I'm going to talk about whatever I want to. See, the problem is that I'm bringing it up because it's not being talked about by that president. He act like he watch all news, but he's not seeing the news with all these killers. He says nothing. How can you ignore all these children being killed and these people randomly succumbing to that on their jobs, going in the market, going to the movies, going to the club, wherever they're going? But that's all, and it's been so many cops killed. I'm surprised because he said he loved cops. He's not even talking about them. But if it was a black person that killed one cop, it would be world news. It would be world news. He'd be in that White House right now what he's doing, trying to justify locking up American citizens. Irregardless, he said, I want to lock them up irregardless of their crime, because they might commit a crime 10 to 20 years from now. So we're going to lock them up forever now. Not for a crime that warrant that kind of time in prison. That's what threw me off. I'm about justice, and I don't serve man. I serve God. I don't serve one party. I am not beholden to the right or the left. I voted both ways. I'm beholden to God. And no matter what, I'm going to say what's right and do what's right and stand on righteousness. And I told people from the beginning of this channel that we were like 99% of the time we was going along with Trump. But when we see stuff that we are not in agreement with, which is this, we're going to speak out about it. And that's being real. If you can't handle people being authentic and being real and not being a sellout and kiss up for you to like or whatever, then this is the wrong channel. Because on this channel, we're going to have these discussions with the right and with the left. I'm bringing them on. I want us to be able to communicate. We're not going to sugarcoat anything. We're not going to hide anything. And I know what I'm talking about is not popular, but I don't care. It's about doing and saying what's right. And it's about talking about these issues. Because I want leaders that want to be for all the people of this country. We already had that horrific administration, Biden's administration. Now we going into this.
Moonlight, that makes absolutely no sense.
Now we got a president that's going after American citizens. I didn't vote for this. Sitting in National Guards. People losing their jobs. And then they got AI coming in a few years that's going to take out other half of jobs. Nobody's going to be employed.
John, I don't even know what race you are, dude. You talking about black fatigue. I don't even know what race you are.
We don't care. That's just bullshit. We don't care. It's white fatigue. All the shit y'all done to every community that have opened up their arms to you. And you won't say that on your job or to your neighbors or to your bosses. You probably got black friends, or well, they don't know what you really are, that you smiling in their face every day. And when we say the stuff that continually happen to this community, then you like, no. See, y'all made that up because that's our saying. It's white fatigue. Y'all not going to rob us of everything. And then when we say something is wrong that you don't want to hear, then you want to label us like we're saying something wrong. Well, oh well. Yeah, I got to bring it down.
Yeah.
I'm just tired of injustice.
Yeah.
I'm tired. See, what's in me is the righteousness of God in Christ. See, God puts that fire in you because you have to say and do what's right, irregardless of how others might think or say. This channel was put on to support the president because I believe no matter who's in office, you have to support and know what's going on. We don't like what's going on with Trump. We got to pray for him because he got a lot of people around him that's for white supremacy, like Steve Miller. He got Elon Musk.
And you won't hold white people accountable, though. We do hold black people accountable if they commit a crime. But we're talking about that Trump and you aren't holding white people accountable for the crimes they commit.
Don't want to. Where's the broom at? Let's sweep it under the rug. No matter what's being done, it's always excusable.
They said, well, I was replying to, they said she won't talk about how her own community keeps themselves down. Zero accountability.
That's a lie from hell. My community built this country. And see, that's why Trump wanted to remove history from the Smithsonian. So that you're so brainwashed, you don't even know the contributions that the black community has made from this country. Without us and slave labor, free labor, this country wouldn't be the greatest country in the world. And still want to mistreat us. It was the people that were enslaved, it was barbaric. It was horrific. It was horrible. They chained them, they lynched them, they beat them, they sold them, they did everything and anything they wanted to.
What? Now someone commented, I'm about to get racist. There's a lot of racist people in the chat.
I don't care. You're about to meet God. That's what you're about to do. Because if you think you're greater than God, the thing about it is what you don't understand is if you got a problem with people's skin tone, you know that's sin. You're dealing with sin. You're sinful. Because God created our skin tones. If you got a problem with it, take it up with God. Since you're your own God. You take it up with God. You tell God, because heaven is going to be the human race. There's going to be all shades in heaven. Just like it is on earth. So I guess that's not your destination. Your destination is not heaven. Because you're going to see all hues in heaven. God created us. And he's no respecter of person. He didn't make anybody better than the other. That's the sinful ways that you have. And you're going to answer to God. So you can keep all that high and mighty attitude. The only person to think that is you. The rest of us don't. I don't go according to my skin like color, they superior. No, it goes about your ability to accomplish whatever your purposes in life that God has given you. We all have God-given purposes.
You're quantum reality, so does that excuse all the things our ancestors went through? Like, what point are you trying to make saying we never were slaves? Get over it.
You know what? Get over. So they need to get over the Holocaust. The indigenous people need to get over that they had 100 million of them that have been wiped out. Everybody should get over of everything that's been done to them, right? We're in the last days. Because when that peace in the Middle East is going to be a 3-year treaty, it's in the Bible. Jesus is coming back. Y'all got 3 years to get it together. We're living in the end times. And that's why we went to a prayer to pray for this nation, the president, administration, our families, friends, and over 60,000 of us on Sunday got together and prayed in unison for over an hour. That's what we did. And we traveled to do that.
Yep, that was great. That's like the same mindset that Trump has.
Oh,
like,
let me see your shirt. Turn around.
That's like the same mindset.
2819. Yeah,
That's like the same mindset though that Trump has. Like that we were never slaves, and let's just forget about slavery because it's a new America.
He don't want to see how the cruelty of slavery. Slavery was the cruelty. It was barbaric. It was horrific. Horrific. They were whipped, beaten, raped, hung. It was over 3,900 or whatever lynchings since 1865, I think, to 1960, and they still lynch. They just lynched Trey Reed. Now they just did an autopsy that, thank God, was paid by Cabernet. That they were trying to sweep that under the rug, and another young man. So it's a lot that's going on that Trump is not talking about.
That doesn't even make any sense, Graham Laura. That was a bad attempt to make us upset.
You know, but it's okay. See,
he said you can't run away from your skin tone. I'm white and I'm proud.
Look, that's right. I am black and I'm proud. I love who I am. I have never wanted to be anything but black. The identity of America is through the black culture, through our music, rock, from country to R&B to hip hop, you name it. Clothing, style, everything comes from the black community. A lot of the inventions we don't get credit for, in spite of slavery, in spite of everything that was done to suppress us, we still rise. Because we're a strong people. We still rise. It's easy for people, and it's funny how people, like, it's so sinful to, it's sin. To feel like what God did wasn't good. Everything God did was good.
But Mom, you see, like the people who say it's always people with no profile pictures, not the real names. It's these anonymous people.
Well, they're internet warriors. Yeah. You know, they that's what they do. But the truth is the truth. And this is called Speak the Truth 2.0 for a reason. Don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe, and become a special friend. Like, the subject is like this right now because Trump is just talking about the same thing every day. And he's just arresting. They're just arresting people to get numbers. And I don't want people unjustly, like they did with the 1994 crime bill, to be arrested unjustly. And they taking these children and putting them in jail as 14-year-olds for 30, 40 years for the farmers. He need farmers because they're getting rid of all the legal immigrants. So who else? Enslaved black people, prison is slavery. And prisons is big business. So why he's filling up the prisons? He's filling them back up.
Tony, what are you even saying?
This is so much. Jesus is coming back soon. Thank God. Jesus is coming back soon.
Yeah. Jesus
is coming back soon. So, I guess people their direction is not heaven because they want to talk about what God has done. And I love my complexion. I love but I would not want to be anything other than black. And that's the honest to God truth. Never thought about being anything differently. I love our culture. I love who we are. We're beautiful people. And I love it. That inside out. But a lot has been done unjustly to our community and continues to be done. And we're not going along with it.
Look what they said. They said the kicker part is they want to be black too. That's why they pay $200 for tanning.
Yeah, they pay $200 for tanning. They walk around with dreads. Oh, it's ghetto until they wear, then it's cool. They roll up their jeans. They do everything we do. They swag. They buy more hip hop music and all than we do.
Sag the pants.
Do sag, but they do everything. All the swag. The Asians copy us. The Indians copy us. Everybody copies us. Everybody. They copy our community and want to talk down about us, but we're not barely making it. They keep giving those examples. We're middle class, upper middle class, millionaires, multi-millionaires, billionaires, multi-billionaires. And you know what I like about social media? It's not like back in the day before social media, because now you can find out the truth for yourself. Anything you don't think what I'm saying, so you can fact check and find out for yourself. You don't have to listen just to mainstream media, Fox News, MSNBC, CNN, Morning Joe, Meet the Press. You can go on other avenues with content creators. You got boots on the ground, and you got ChatGPT, you got Google, your Siri, you got everything available. So all the stuff that even the president is saying, what Chicago women want, and they never called him in to harm the black people there. They called him in because of the illegal immigrants who put in their communities, and all the resources, instead of going to the people of Chicago, it was going to the illegal immigrants. They were taking care of them using their taxpayer dollars and then raising prices on them and doing nothing for them. They completely ignored them for the illegal immigrants. That's what the Democratic Party is about. They were about a voting bloc because they already had black votes on lockdown. So then I said, forget that.
Gabe, imagine being named Gabe.
It's okay.
You saw so many haters and racist people here.
It's okay. This is how they feel big or empowered, and they're the weakest people on earth. But you take it up with Jesus.
And this is what
it up with Jesus.
This is what turns black people away from being a Republican.
Yeah, black people get turned. All these black people, 2 million black men voted for Trump, and now he's coming out to arrest them. It's like this is why black people continually vote for the Democratic Party, but you can't win with either party.
Yeah.
It's bad on the left and it's bad on the right. So we need a party for the people. All the people. All the people.
They got black people selling us out like Byron.
Yeah, Byron, different people. Though you could go to their channels. They'll say everything you want to hear because they're gonna talk down about their own community. I'm not gonna do that. Just like you don't do it on your community. Trump won't even mention one word
I was talking
about his community.
I was talking about Byron signed that bill.
Byron Donalds.
Yeah.
They used Byron Donalds to do a replica of the 1994 crime bill that caused mass incarceration of black people. So they got the black man doing the same bill who was arrested twice and convicted, Byron Donalds. And he was given a second chance, third chance. And he's running for governor of Florida while he's sitting as a sitting senator. And so they got him to write a bill. It's horrible. I like, where do we go from here? It's like, I just want someone to be about all Americans. I thought when Trump was in office that I was so proud to be an American for the first time. And I thought that he was bringing us all together as Americans. And then now he's attacking Americans. So that went left real fast. That really went left. And I don't like it.
Well, someone said they were not giving money to the illegal immigrants. That's a lie. It's been proven lie over and over again.
Well, you could lie to yourself. Everybody know. They came with money. They came with luxury apartments. They came with health care, Medicaid, Medicare. They came with Social Security. They came with college funds. They came with licenses. So they came with wealth. Okay, got it.
Came with food.
They came with food. Yeah, okay. We got it. Who you talking to? They cross with the clothes on their backs. Who been taking care of taxpayer dollars? Well, anyway, I got a different show to do. This is like, I'm just like, he's saying kind of the same stuff all the time. Trying to, see, when you keep saying the same things over and over again, that's to brainwash people like this. You're trying to brainwash the people that they don't fact check, they don't look stuff up. Yeah. And he want to keep saying, oh, they're bad, they're bad, they're bad, they're bad. Until they're thugs, they're criminals, until you believe it. While he completely overlooked what's happening in his own community.
Yeah. And
which is a lot worse.
Like, I'll just make this clear to like the people that are watching this and watching the stream maybe for the first time or over again. This is not your typical political channel. We're not going to just say things to make you feel good on the inside and say music to your ears. We're going to just tell it how it is and tell the truth. So I see a lot in the comments, a lot of people going against us. hey, it hurts your feelings, it does, but it's the truth.
The truth hurts.
Yeah.
And people who are adults on here, supposed to be adults, they're having a hard time because they don't want to hear the truth.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to hear the truth, then this is most definitely the wrong channel for you, because we do this on our own time, and you have to have avenues that people are not going along to get along, because there's a lot of channels out there like that. They make a lot of money off of people like you. We could be doing the same thing. We make nothing. Like doing this stream, we make nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, we are doing this because we want the truth. We want what's right. We want to put God first in everything. We're giving our time and energy, so ain't nobody sugarcoating it for you and petting you on your back and everything. we no.
And how much we care, we're doing this, and now, meaning we're not going to get probably invited to the White House.
Yeah, we could have been to the White House. You don't have a mother and son that's black that's doing any type of show like this. So that went out the window, because we're not doing it. We got to stand on business. We're going to stand before God one day and give an account of everything we done, everything we ever said. And this is not something that we're going to go down with the ship, because we're not people pleasers. You know, God provided all our needs according to his riches and glory through Christ Jesus. So our blessings come from God. And that's who we rely on. That's who we depend on. But I think that, people don't believe in Jesus, they don't believe in God, but you will. The devil is real. The evil is real. Wickedness is real. Angels are real. Heaven is real. All that's real. It's real. Because we can't look into the spiritual realm. You're going to find out whether you believe it or not. And I guess, if you want to burn in the lake of fire, you think that your life is long here? Imagine trillions of years. There's endless time that you're going to be tormented, separated from God, being burnt, and you can't die. You have demons ripping your flesh out. You're going to feel pain. You're going to feel everything. You're going to be separated from everyone. You're going to be in darkness. I don't wish that on anybody. And hell wasn't made for God's people. We're all his people. It was made for the devil and his demons. That's who hell is made for. But God gives us the opportunity to give our life to him. But you got to do it while you're here. You can't leave this earth, unfortunately, untimely, and then, now I believe. It's too late. You have to have faith in God and believe now. So if you don't do anything else at all today, read your Bible. Give your life to Christ. And thank God if you got a roof over your head. Because there are people that are homeless. I was talking to someone yesterday. I could not believe it. Very close to me. They told me, I'm homeless. I'm like, what? Served in the military. I couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. It's real out here in these streets. You gonna serve your country, and look how y'all want to treat our military, our disabled vets, our homeless. A lot of them are homeless, but they're on the streets. While we taking care of people who they're non-citizens. Yeah, okay. What I saw the other day, and we're doing nothing for them. Nothing.
Oh, thanks. The one who said that that the newcomers weren't getting any money is now saying they like our channel. So it's nice. Thank you.
Hey, thanks. God is good. But anyway, this is not what we want to do. We just feel as though it's important, whether you agree with Trump or not. You need to listen. I never did this before with any president. If you look at my videos, you'll see me with Biden. I've been with all the Congress, all the leaders. I'm legislative director. I've been with everybody, know everybody, supporting campaigns.
Oh, they said I like your truth and conviction.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
And Tony's just yapping.
You could tell when people are telling the truth, whether you want to admit it or not. You can feel it. You know it. And that's what we're going to do. But when we started the channel, we started because we wanted to support Trump and what he was doing. He done went all the way over here.
Went left.
He went left so far, I don't even recognize what he's trying to do at this point. But I'm about America first. I'm about taking care of our vets. I'm about feeding our poor. That if we can do that for illegal immigrants and take care of them at the level that we have, giving them $15,000 for food stamps, giving them $30,000. This lady, they gave an immigrant $30,000, and she told me she ran out of money by October, and she wanted more money. Yeah. We're just throwing cash and money. They say they don't like the food, they throwing it in the trash. We giving them their culture, their culturally food or whatever that they like.
You know, it's a really
read this.
You know, it's really a problem when they're talking about going after the children. That's when.
Yeah, when he started talking about going after our children, that I drew the line in the sand with that one. No, you can't have our children. You already went after us in the 1994 crime bill. We're not doing this again.
Tyler, my ex-girlfriend is a white girl. We don't hate white people.
Nobody, you know what? That's just flipping the script.
Yeah.
Because nobody said that at all. Nobody's saying that there's amazing, wonderful, boots on the ground white people that I love. They are amazing. No one is saying that.
And we got white in us too.
Yeah, we got white in us too. Nobody, don't misconstrue what's right and wrong have to do with race. Right is right and wrong is wrong, and that's it. And we're going to stand on the side of what's right. This is not go along to get along. This is about speaking the truth. And God gave me this name for a reason. I had to call it Speak the Truth 2.0. But I couldn't change the name. That's what it has to be. Okay. And that's my conviction, to speak the truth. And look everything up yourself. That's all.
Tyler said, y'all just sat here and talk crap on white people, !
You know what? You could take it whatever. It's not talking crap. It's talking the damn truth. They are mass shooters and murderers and killers and rapists that Trump is not talking about, and cop killers. That's not being talked about at all.
Yeah, not all of them.
At all.
There are some.
We're just saying, don't talk about one community, target the black community, calling the black community thugs. That's coming from the president. You label a whole community like that. That's a lie from hell. And black people are not the thugs of this country. We're not the thugs.
Yeah, but
and we're not going to accept being labeled like that in 2025.
But the donation says real ? I don't know what the context is, but they said real ? Are ignored, racist comments get attention. I don't know what they're trying to say.
Well, anyway, I know that people don't want to hear people speak the truth, but we could talk about black crime, black people all day long. But if you want to talk about thugs for real, you want to talk about who the real threat of this country has always been, it's not us. It's not us. So anyway, you guys, it's time for me to get off because this is not even the show that I want to do. I want to do some other shows, but I want to put the president on, and he's saying a lot of the same stuff, trying to justify the military, which most of the people on here, 55% said that he should not be sending the military. That's too much. And they just grabbing people off the street. They're not committing crimes, y'all. They're not going to prisons like they were doing with ICE and grabbing people. No, they're just grabbing random people off the street is what they're doing. That's what they're doing. Grabbing random people. There's not all these people walking around committing all these crimes. They're grabbing people off the street, just like they're doing illegal immigrants, I guess. They're grabbing people off the street. They need numbers. But see, they could send them back home, but black people, they want to put them in prisons and enslave them. That's what's going on. So anyway, you guys, I'm going to jump off. I got to cook dinner. I'm going to try to come back on. We got to eat. So anyway, thanks for joining us. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. And hopefully Trump will go back to speaking for all Americans, because whether he realizes it or not, he's the president of the radical left as well.
Tony, everything we've said replying to that just went completely over your head.
It's okay. Some people,
still
let them go.
about
Like Jesus said, kick the dust off your feet, go to the next time. Just let them stay where they're at. Let them stay where they're at. It's not worth the energy. But anyway, thanks you guys for joining us. Don't forget to hit the like, share, subscribe. And we'll see you on the next live, and look for our uploads. That's why we said turn on the notifications. And I just hope that Trump realizes one day that he's not just the president of Republicans and MAGA, he's the president of all Americans.
Yeah.
All of us. He calling people low IQ, radical left. He's
Lunatics.
still lunatics.
I don't like that.
Yeah,
He's
that's
the president of
thugs.
everybody.
That's just, you're the president of all Americans. And to keep downplaying and stereotyping a community, when one person committed a crime, he's not saying Tyler Robinson, oh, the radical left. No, Tyler Robinson did that.
Yeah.
He did that. So anyway, you guys, thanks for joining us. God bless. And we'll see you on the next live.
God bless you too.
Yeah, you should be some of the people that
Diaz.
are supporting instead of giving energy to the people who are not. You do that. You do it all the time.
The one that said that they didn't get paid, the newcomers. Now she said, God bless you. Don't let anybody put you down. God got you. Keep his armor around you at all times.
Thank you.
Thank you. God bless you.
God bless
too.
you. I don't see you. God is hugging me. Thank you. That's a hug from him, from you to me. Thank you. Yeah, I got my helmet of salvation, my breastplate of righteousness, my sword, which is the spirit, which is the word of God, my feet shod with the preparation of peace, and my belt buckle of truth.
Dude, that's what we
I
like.
got my armor on.
That's what we like.
Ephesians 6:10.
That's what we like. Somebody said that they support what we're saying. I mean, they support us, but they have a different opinion.
That's
what we're saying.
great. That's
Yeah.
what we're saying. We're not trying to convince anybody anything. That's great. That's what we want. That's why we're going to start doing lives and bring people on that have that perspective, that can handle a conversation without being emotional and sensitive, that they in their feelings, that they can actually talk like the people that with the negative comments. They sensitive. They're emotional. I hope it's not men being sensitive, all in their panties. You know. Yeah, we want people that can just have the conversation, and then we could just agree to disagree at the end. That's it. But we have more of an understanding. That's how America should be. That's why we have different parties. People have different opinions.
That's what Trump's not doing.
And that's what America is. America is has people of different ethnicities, and they have different culture and different opinions. You said what, Eli?
So that's not what Trump's doing. He's causing a divide.
He's causing a divide, and I don't like it. I thought we were all coming together under his administration, and we're not. He's not doing that. So anyway, you guys, thanks for joining us. God bless you, and just keep your eyes open, because we got elections coming up, 2026 and 2028, and I'm gonna be looking at policies. I'm most definitely gonna be looking at these candidates, who's running. I'm not voting for somebody because I like the way they look or something. Okay, God bless you guys.
God bless.
See you the next live. Turn on